Hello everybody, it is Susan and welcome to my Crafty Chit Chat and Slow Stitching video. So today I do have a bit of an issue going on with my voice. So please bear with me. And so let's go ahead and finish off this block. So this is what I call one of my simplistic style blocks. Up in that yellow piece of fabric, I had just put like 2 rows around the fabric to sew it down. And then I did vertical stitching over on this bigger piece on the upper left. And over there I used this variegated thread, and then the other 2 threads that I'm using on this are those 2 yellows. So those are the only threads that I'm using on this block. And the threads that I do use are the pearl size 8. And you know what's interesting to me is when I first started slow stitching in September of 2021, so it's almost a year, I was so into yarn, so like hand-dyed yarn. And I had purchased quite a bit of it, and I don't even use it anymore. I'm sure someday I will use it. But it's kind of interesting that, you know, when you start out doing something, you think one way, and then as you get into it, you totally, change your whole thought process. So I am speeding up this video just a little bit as I do a voiceover. When I first recorded this video, I was talking, but I was doing so much coughing. I was like, forget it. So I gave up on doing that, and I gave my voice a rest, and I think I'm doing a lot better now. So so this is sped up, not a lot, just a little bit. So for a little bit of crafty chit chat, so I haven't been purchasing any new fabrics or threads or anything. I have a decent amount at this point, and I'm pretty happy with it. So I'm trying to, be a good steward of my finances. And now that I'm retired, I'm trying to be, what would be the word, better with my money. So if you personally do YouTube videos and you're making haul videos where you share what you bought, I know I can't watch those, because if I watch those, I know that I will most likely go and purchase, one or all of what you're sharing. So I'm trying to use my noggin, my head a little bit, and if I know something is going to lead me towards spending money, well, I'm just trying not to get myself into that place. So, like I said, I have plenty, and not that I won't purchase anything ever again. I'm not saying that. I have to tell you, I'm pretty proud of myself for not purchasing anything in a while. Like one of my all-time favorite things to do, and I really enjoy this a lot, besides going to the mom and pop fabric store right up the road from me, I really enjoy going onto Etsy, and I call it window shopping. And I'll just like type in a phrase or a word, for fabric or lace or buttons or whatever the case may be, and I kind of window shop. I see who has something that looks interesting that I want to look into further. I like seeing where the people are in the world, because I mean you can buy literally from anywhere, right? So and I try to keep it for the most part, US and Canada, although I buy from Poland, I do buy from other areas, but for the most part, just because I don't know, because I like to get things fast. I try to keep it closer to home. But that is like a really, really dangerous thing to do, going window shopping on Etsy. Really dangerous. So if you're trying not to spend money, I don't recommend that you do it because you will find something or a lot of somethings that you would like. So, yeah, so I haven't done that in a while because I know as soon as I do, I'm going to get sucked in and I'm going to purchase something, and I don't need anything. So doing, projects like this where I'm using my stash, oh my gosh, it just feels wonderful. I'm so blessed that, I mean, I have a nice supply of things. So yeah. So anyway, you can see here that I'm just doing some French knots, because on this piece of fabric right here, there's like little berries on it. So wherever there was a little orange berry, like even up top there, I'm doing the French knots. And I also did some seed stitching. So instead of stitching around, um, this fabric, I'm only stitching in certain areas. So when I do this, and I do this often, just to do something different, I try to make sure that I get some stitches in all four corners. And in this case, you'll see in a few minutes that I even, did some seed stitching in the middle of that little piece of fabric down there as well. And then right here is where I am doing stitching in the fourth corner of this piece of fabric, like I had mentioned before. So yeah, so this is how I'd like to sew certain pieces of fabric, just to do something a little bit different. I do also want to mention, because I like to mention and I want to mention that whenever I do a block like this, it is totally inspired by Maria Ruiz from the Susan Taylor Brown Facebook group. And she just does amazing pieces, and I always look at hers because of just how I can't even explain it. They're just beautiful and without a lot of fuss. Just gonna put maybe that's a good way to say it. Without a lot of fuss, and she just inspires me, and it's always a challenge for me to do something without a fuss. At this point, I have sewn all of the fabric down. And now I want to find out the best placement for the lace, as well as the ruffled fabric. And I like the ruffled fabric really where it was. It's a good spot to cover up where two pieces of fabric don't really meet in the right spot. So I decided to sew this here, And I am using the brighter yellow thread because I want to see it. Um, yeah, so like when you look at this block as a whole, you'll be able to very clearly see that bright yellow on that very neutral background. And yeah. And I just wanted to apologize for my voice. I mean, to be totally honest, I don't think I'm feeling so hot right now. So I'm just kind of sitting here doing this voiceover. I'm in my living room on my recliner, and I'm just sitting here kind of relaxing and just talking to you guys about, well, what I'm doing, what I sewed. So I like that. I think that that looks good. And just to have, things go in different orientations, that's why I decided to put that piece of eyelet trim um, on the vertical instead of the horizontal. And I will also use that same yellow thread to so that we can see it there as well. And yeah, so it really came together really quickly. If you watched my video from last week, this is different than what I thought I was going to do. So, and that happens to me often. Does it happen to you where, sometimes if you don't finish something all like in one sitting, and you're going to leave it for a day or two or three, whatever, and you come back to it and you look at it and you're like, oh, well, maybe I'll try this instead, or, I wonder what that would look like. And you do it, and then you find out that like other things as well, and that's fine. It's your piece. You get to, do whatever you want with it. So that's what happened here, and I was glad I took a look to, see what other things that I had that I might want to add to this block. I do like the way that looks. Trying to keep it as simple as I possibly can. And yeah, I'm just going to put a few stitches through these rosettes. I am using that darker brown variegated thread. And then once I got the rosettes down, I knew that I wanted to put that little button on the top of that last rosette. And I think that looks cute. It kind of hides that last flower a little bit, but I was okay with that. I mean, I could have looked for maybe a smaller button, but I had these out. I knew I wanted to use these buttons on this particular block. And this button that I'm sewing down now, I wasn't sure which side of it was right side up. I could have done it either way, and I don't know that you can really tell, but this side of this button almost has like a white shadow on it. It even looks a little shimmery to me, but I wasn't sure if that should be the side up or the side down, but I liked it, so I put it up so that you could see that pretty shimmer to the top of it. And then, well, I need to add, that's my own like little rule here, is that, each of these blocks that I'm making that are going to go into a journal of some sort, I just want to make sure I have at least one yo-yo and at least one button on each one. And now I did a French knot here, but you know what? I pulled it too tight and it went right through that little hole of the yo-yo. And I was like, well, that's all right. And that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you next Monday. Have a wonderfully blessed week.